Woo!
And we are recording here.
Are we allowed to cuss on this podcast?
I think we can do whatever we want. The question is, do we want to swear in front of the audience in case there's kids that want to watch? But it's probably more for adults. Should we do like an intro?
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, I'm Mary.
And I'm Joe, and we are talking picture books. We both have a passion for children's literature, illustration, and we have our first child.
One child.
And so
one potato.
Our interest in both books and illustration and storytelling has obviously been exploding. This is going to be sort of a I don't want to say a review show, but we're just going to be talking about things. I might go into art and illustration stuff at some point. Mary might go into books and, I don't know,
Readability.
Mom stuff too.
Mom.
We got the mom and the manager and the dad and the artist, and we're both storytellers. So we're just going to share what we have been finding, what we love, what's cool, and what sucks. Probably not what sucks.
A little bit what sucks.
We might have a suck episode.
Save you some money.
Yeah, that's good.
We spin it so you can save it.
Yes. Anyway, should we go?
Number 1.
After the Fall by Dan Santat. This dude was my sort of unofficial best friend spiritual guide when I was deciding to dive headfirst into doing my own picture books and writing. The stories are he sort of almost killed himself doing 20 books or a dozen books a year, which is impossible in this industry. And once he started illustrating other people's books, he got so into it.
Okay, he didn't literally.
No. He's still doing good. He won the Caldecott Award, which if you look it up, you'll see it is the best picture book that year.
Maybe we shouldn't say people kill themselves. For our children listeners, they might not be ready for that kind of real life.
He may have gotten himself sick. You know, when I'll work really late at night.
He worked himself sick, children.
You know how I'll work really late at night, and then a week after getting a deadline, I'm like, and acting like a little baby.
Yeah, you lay in the bed, and I have to take care of you, and I'm sick.
Yeah. Now, on the surface,
it feels really nice for those who are very tactile, like myself.
Mm-hmm. On the surface, it's like a retelling of Humpty Dumpty.
With a twist!
I hate spoilers, so this is a little heads up. I am never going to let anyone spoil anything. He uses light, color, composition, pacing in brilliant ways throughout the books. And there is not one decision, in my opinion, that's spared as far as an illustrative storyteller goes. Everything means something.
It's Frosted Flakes right there.
Well, Crunch Tiger for copyright.
Frosted Flakes. We see what you did there.
There's Fruit Hoops with a green old parakeet. That's pretty close.
And the Rice Crackles, which notice he put here on the terrible cereal.
And let's just be honest, this is what you eat. Bowl o' cookies. That's your cereal.
Bowl of cookies.
You eat a bowl of cookies.
I wish I was eating bowl of cookies. That's what I thought about at the gym this morning.
And then at the bottom, grown-up food and flax and bland and
that's what Joe eats.
Twigs and berries.
Mine's the colorful box. Notice
But
that.
what's beautiful is how it's all exciting. Like, this is what kids want. This is what everyone wants to eat. This is fun. This is sugary and colorful. And what he really wants is to go up, but he can't. Look how Dan makes the images get all gray. The one's called Sad Clown. Like, if you are antisocial.
Yeah, it's like vertigo.
Yeah. Any kind of issue you might have. So Dan Santat, After the Fall, is a beautiful book, and that's definitely one you should check out if you're into a story that you can appreciate as a parent, as a kid, or just as an illustrator or as a storyteller, someone who's a professional in any visual storytelling industry. This is just beautiful.
Why is Humpty Dumpty always an egg?
In the original nursery rhyme, does it ever say that he's an egg?
Comment on this video.
Maybe people can dig up some of that dirt and tell us. I don't know.
Because we're lazy and don't want to research this.
We were excited to talk about the
stuff.
book. We didn't want to go and do too much prep.
Okay, we'll edit that.
And we're going. Is this a circus? Check it.
You want me to bring my phone? I have that little phone on there. Now, if you're cool.
We don't have to be pro here yet.
Okay,
Yes.
well, we're pro. I'm a pro. Okay, so this is a book I believe my husband ordered, and that happens a lot, and we get packages in, and then I open them.
I order books nonstop.
And
Picture
that
books.
is how we got this one. It's called Wild by Emily Hughes. And I picked it up, flipped it open. I saw it wasn't very wordy, which is a benefit to me right now because our daughter is very young, so she has a very short attention span.
She's going on 6 months old.
Yeah, she's almost 6 months old, so she likes looking at colors. But some of these books, even though I like them, she can't really focus. It's always nice to have something that's very succinct. Let me just start off by saying how beautiful it is as far as attention to detail. We get a lot of picture books coming through this house, which shows publisher sending us some, Joe ordering some. Sometimes his agent will send some. Friends will send some. So I've kind of learned when someone has really gone the extra mile to pay attention to little details, like in papers or in pages. She made it look like some vintage books, like with this pattern. It's got "This book belongs to."
Oh, so there's a sort of book plate.
A book plate
built
that's
into the end pages.
Yeah.
Now, end pages are something that we pay attention to a lot. Either the editor, the book designer, or the illustrator has like, okay, this is totally fair game. No matter who's buying it, what market or age it's for, there's always an opportunity where people go, all right, the one place we can play is the ends. What are the ends going to be? And everyone has their own taste. But what I found is making it appropriate for the book is always the best choice. Cloth spine.
Yes, it has the cloth spine here. What do you call it? See how this is kind of rough, but then the eyes have that shiny.
Yes, it has a UV coating.
UV
so
coating,
it's like a gloss, a spot varnish, people can call it. But either way, certain areas are glossy, certain areas are matte.
So you'll hear me say that a lot. This book feels good. I might not know all the terminology, but even like the weight of the pages or the texture of the pages, I can feel that. And I tend to like books more that have taken that into consideration versus having a cheap page.
You're going to make me up my game. I didn't talk about all the...
Pictures pretty. Colors.
I got a pro over here.
As far as the like style of illustrations, it felt very retro and vintage, like kind of old Disney to me.
She's developed this kind of rough but classic,
yes,
pencil and watercolor
very classic,
feeling style.
which goes along with these end pages, which goes along with the spine.
It is a lot of heavy lifting, and I pay major respect to illustrators who write their own stories, and that's what she did here.
Also, it was very sweet of Emily to draw our house and put it into this book. But really, I felt very connected, even though this character doesn't have a name. I was a tomboy growing up. I like to be outside. I like to be dirty. I didn't want to wear dresses. I didn't want to...
You were akin to animals, not humans.
Exactly.
Yes.
I would play with all the dogs, and this character is like that. It's a very sweet, simple book, especially if you have children who maybe cannot focus yet on longer reads. So... definitely recommend.
So you give that 5 thumbs up out of 5.
I give you 5 Cosmos. 5 tongues. 5 Cosmo tongues.
They will surely learn of our dogs over time.
Yes.
Why don't we stick with the visual theme for me for the next one?
Okay.
All right.
Pretty pictures. Joe says pretty pictures.
This is a Caldecott honor book.
Okay, mine are the ones that were snubbed.
Nominated.
Okay, well, it's the same thing. You get to put a thing on
It has
your
a
book.
thingy
No one's
on it.
reading that.
The thingies sell. I thought about just putting something on there that
looks
is a
like
gag in my next
Cosmo.
book. That's what we'll do. We'll put a little
got
Cosmo back and
5
we'll say
Cosmos.
honorary Chihuahua
You can
happiness.
send these people a little thing.
Our own Cosmo sticker?
For our own
maybe
sticker.
We'll make it the same. Okay, so this is Brendan Wenzel. They all saw a cat. I'll be honest. I saw this getting tossed around on Twitter and Facebook, and a lot of people on Instagram talking about all the illustration and publishing people. What a book! Oh, what a book! And all I saw was this cover, and I'm sorry, I'm just contrarian. I can't help it. Little did I know that it was all playing into the book, and as soon as I opened it up, I was sucked right in. This is a brilliant point of view or perspective theme to this book, and I don't want to say any more than that other than show you a few images because it just kind of knocks your socks off. Actually, I'm not sure if I should show any of this. This guy...
We're not showing any of this.
We're not going to show any of this?
You're going to look at this cat right here. That's all you get.
That's what you get. Okay, so how about we leave it with that? This is one of those books that is such a fun and rich surprise. I was talking to my brother the other night, and I just wanted him to respond. I didn't say a word, and he got it. And there's no explanation. There's no deep story to it as far as like a complex narrative or any kind of like act structure you have to follow. Just a very simple concept. It's super fun and super refreshing. Let's leave it. We won't open this one. They All Saw a Cat by Brendan Wenzel, and this is maybe one of my like picks of the year. This one is crazy good.
Okay, now we have to bring out picks of the year. I was
well,
not
we don't
prepped
have a system
for picks of the year.
What should our system be?
I've already come up. It's you need to start pulling your weight.
Okay, Brendan Wenzel. They all saw a cat with a shiny silver thing.
Caldecott even. Okay, can we do one of mine
right,
now? Because so Joe follows all these Twitter, Tumblr people, and so he kind of picks up a buzz because that's just, an industry he's in. I follow Gordon Ramsay and Bill Burr on the internet, and so I don't get a lot of picture book recs coming my way from that group. So how I pick them is I judge a book by its cover. Someone
at
has
the bookstore. We go to the bookstores.
We take our child into the car, and we drive our car to the store, and we walk around the store, call to us.
I'm finding things.
Also, Amazon starts to recommend things to me based on other things I've purchased. So Joe and I come from different worlds, but that's good because then I bring picture books maybe he wouldn't have heard of just because it can be such a loud industry. There's just so much coming out. So we went to the bookstore yesterday and I saw this book. And the backstory is we call our daughter a potato. She's a potato head, tater sprout.
She's got a big old potato-shaped head.
She's a potato head.
And it's the cutest thing in the world.
She's got a big old head growing that big old brain of hers. So I immediately saw potato pants. I want to read this to my daughter. She laughs. She thinks I'm hilarious, by the way. So this is by Laurie Keller, and it's got these really fun, loose illustrations. The book is just super lighthearted. Now, I've seen this in some other books we have. There's a lot of this, it's not the traditional picture with text or text layered over a picture. It follows, it blends into a little graphic novel as far as these little speech bubbles that pop around. There's different size fonts.
It keeps your eye wandering.
Yes.
And trying to follow the narrative.
So it'd be great for kids to follow along. It helps you, this.
I gotta say, Laurie Keller has some guts in the way she illustrated this because these often feel like a child's drawing, but they have the energy and expression that's obviously very controlled.
Can I also say that this lady's name is Marlene? That's a very southern name.
And her head is cropped.
And her head.
I guess she's a human and they're all potatoes, so that makes sense.
Well, yes, Joe, because this is Lance Vance's Fancy Pants store. And you have to say that name several times. So like I said, it'd be a great thing for kids to say with you, especially if you want to make your baby laugh and do funny voices. You got a lot of opportunity for funny voices and funny
Pretty good at that.
Potatoes. So this was just one we happened to see on the shelf. Oh, it's a Junior Library Guild selection. Take that, Caldecott.
That's as good as a Caldecott as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. JLG. And there's puns. Who doesn't love a good pun in a book? You know, didn't know I was looking for it until I found it kind of books. We're going to give this 4 potatoes. I say that just because from my mom point of view, for my child, it might be a little long, difficult to keep her attention. Now, an older potato might be able to handle that. You know, but I'm thinking of a 6-month potato. She's still got a lot of ripening to do. If that's what potatoes do. I don't even know if potatoes ripen or not, but we're going to pretend like they do.
They are a tuber, so probably not.
Okay, well, I don't even know what that
They grow.
means. Here, put that over
All right, there we go.
pile. You go.
Okay.
If you hit me in the face with that book.
I'm holding it in the good focus plane. How about there? Oliver Jeffers, in recent years, has become something of a rock star by clanking.
Audio clanking is
He's
good.
a comedian over here. Oliver Jeffers, I've been aware of him for a while. Now, this is a very recent one. He had his first child, a son, and our dogs are barking.
Oh, dog technical difficulties.
All right, let's
What
just go
can you
ahead.
do?
Oliver Jeffers is a bit of a rock star among children's book illustrators and fine artists. And this is one of his latest books for his son. There's a whole bunch of things I want to tell you. And he had this balled up energy, and he prefaces it with that of what do I want you to know? If everything in your first year of life I want you to know, so I can get it out of the way. And so he just crammed it into this book. It tackles big ideas that you do want everyone to know, that we do know nowadays as adults, and you kind of want your kid to be interested enough to go further with it. So it's just the basics. It's saying, hey, the universe is big, we live here. Check it out.
Which I think is a trend right now in picture books. This educational type of thing. I'm seeing a lot of, you know, historical figures and board books, you know, which is great because you want kids to be interested in things like that. And this is definitely a friendly way to do that.
And he takes very simple concepts like, look, this is your body. Here's the idea of your body. And what I love about a good story or a good picture book that parents can share with their kids is that it gives you the opportunity for a conversation afterwards, or to stimulate their brains in a way that says, I want to learn more about that one thing in the book. And then they can explore it. They can explore it with you. Obviously, our daughter's not old enough to do that yet. But I can see this being...
Betty already knows
great.
all the information.
She knows
in this
everything
book.
about the universe.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what to do now then. This is a brilliant book that I think is good for all ages, but it's perfect for the kid who can understand basic ideas about complex reality. Mary likes the little faces on the planet. Okay, let's go to the visuals. I love the visuals.
Colors.
The way he illustrates this. Almost any human being, whether they can draw or not, can look at this and go, oh, I see how he did that. Yet if you pull back and look at it from a distance, it is as sophisticated and subtle as any fine artist painter is. And you can see that the choice to be slightly naive or minimal really is informed by a knowledge of lighting.
It's nice of him to use the Titanic.
That might be the Queen Mary. It might be, I don't know.
It's the Titanic.
You just want some tragedy in here, don't you?
He's trying to
Is
teach
that what you're
the
going to try to teach
children
Betty? About death?
about. I'll bring that book later. I have one.
Ooh, we have, yeah.
Harsh realities for your
Some of-
children.
It's written in a way that gives just enough breadcrumbs and just cracks the door open for conversations about the universe, about the earth, about people, about each other, about where we are and what we're doing, and about just basic scientific principles. It's not complex, but it's enough to set a kid off in this like very enthusiastic fury of learning on their own or asking you questions. This is one of my favorite. This gets 18 Cosmos. Cosmic Cosmos. Ooh. Or should we say it gets
Bing,
one?
bing, 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 bing. Can they light up on the bottom of
Cosmos.
our screen here?
Yes. Here we are, Oliver Jeffers, Notes for Living on Planet Earth. What do you think?
Ding, 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 ding.
Does that mean you think we did good?
Yeah.